What is up? Welcome back to the InherAlchemist TV. In today's video, we're actually going to be taking a look into Carlos King of Kingdom Reign, producer for OWN Network, and most importantly, Love and Marriage Huntsville. So before we get started, I need you guys to like the video. Those of you who have been subscribed in the past and have somehow found yourself unsubscribed, double check, make sure that you are subscribed so that I can get back to the 3,000 mark that I had before I took a break. And to the new people, welcome. Kick back, relax, let me take care of you, stimulate your mind, turn you guys' notification bells on, because we're going on a journey. I can already tell there's a lot going on. So, it's interesting about this reading is that I was actually getting ready to do a reading for Melody to find out, is she really leaving the show? And I had the whole deck anointed and shuffled and ready to go. And then something told me, start with Carlos. So we're going to do just that. I want to be obedient so that I can get the accurate perceptions. And then I think it'll bring more clarity to what we may see in the next reading. Okay. So that's where we're going to start. Entertainment purposes only through the tarot. This is a tarot reading. Okay. Don't be going around and selling this story to the tabloids unless it's a tarot tabloid. I don't know. But again, this is the tarot cards. And of course, you guys know I swear by my cards. That's my caveat. But let's treat it for what it is, right? That's what I'm trying to say. All right. So the reading opens up with the Three of Cups and the Five of Wands. This is Carlos. He's running a test. He's doing loyalty test. He's trying to see who's really in his corner, who's really ready to play by his beat, play by his tune, and go on whatever journey or, whatever the assignment is that he thinks he's issuing. He's preparing to enter a different phase, maybe in his creativity, maybe in his work. There's a new project coming up. There's many new projects coming up. And right now, he's evaluating those who are supposed to be closest to him, mainly three particular women. Now, these women could have been coordinating in some way, meaning that they all knew each other, or they could all just be independently close to him. But he's having some type of, I don't want to say paranoia because it's not that thick yet, because right now he still feels in control of the situation. I think paranoia is kind of like one of those emotions that comes up when you feel like you may have a blind spot or you may lose control. He's not feeling that. But there is a sense of him being suspicious on whether or not people are linking up, coordinating, or talking behind his back. He has one woman that's infiltrating a circle of four women, and she is listening and getting information. So this woman can be observed because while everybody's singing in the choir, right, singing like canaries, running their mouths, this person is just listening. They have like this kind of like neutral look on their face, a smile, but they're not adding to the conversation. They're not defaming him. They're not complaining about him. They're just taking it all in. And I believe that this person was put in the middle of the group to help Carlos to vet out who he can trust and who he cannot trust. So people be mindful of that person because that person is feeding information back to Carlos that they're gathering from this female group. So I'm seeing a total of 5 women. 4 of them are talking, running their mouths, coordinating, singing like canaries. 1 is in the group smiling, apparently co-signing, but is really getting information for Carlos. Yeah, definitely. I feel like they're trying to camouflage with this 5 of wands. They're trying to pretend to be amongst everybody or down with the crew, but they're not. They're not of you. This person may even be from another country. I know Carlos said that he was dating an African. There is the Ace of Cups in reverse in the past, so I believe that that represents the breakup. But this woman may also be an African woman or a woman with some type of accent. Yeah, definitely. And she's also testing the group. Maybe she's throwing out some feelers. Again, her whole intent is to blend in and not kind of allude or make it known to the fact that she's a mole or she's a person that's reporting back or feeding him information. If she's seen visibly, she might wear the color red, or she might be really ornate in her appearance. Her hair is real short though. It's about a minute long or less. Let's put it at 30 seconds. But she might wear a wig. So I don't know. I don't think y'all gonna be snatching wigs to verify the tarot cards. I mean, some of y'all might. Some of y'all might got a little time. But for the most part, this is a bald-headed scallywag for sure. So the Ace of Cups is in reverse. And I've been seeing it. I saw Carlos break up with the African way long ago when we did his other readings. And in those other readings, we talked about his, misogyny. I always talk about kind of being a little bit critical of the gay community, not as a whole, because I have types of gay people that I like. But I also, just like with women, I think it's okay to vet out the men that you keep in company. And I feel like sometimes gay men don't want to be under the scrutiny of women because it hurts. And then they hide behind things like homophobia to avoid that scrutiny when it ain't even like that. It's that if you walk in this earth, you subject to the judgment like anybody else. And so I am often critical of them of being misogynistic with women. Pulling power trips, getting close to you, selling you out, taking your secrets, throwing things in your face, being abusive, competing with you, holding resentments towards you, and looking for opportunities to let out that passive aggression. I've shown that with Carlos, but his was more different. His was from the perspective of he was dependent on women for some level of approval or psychological comfort. And in exchange, he was willing to put them in the positions that they wanted to be in and open up opportunities for him. But it was all for his aggrandizement so that he could win the approval of women. And I guess when that's taken away, maybe there's some type of backlash or relapse, if you will. Maybe it takes him back to a time where he felt wholly unsupported by women. Because that's what I'm seeing here. I'm looking at the Devil card in reverse, and I'm looking at the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. To me, this represents somebody that is out for themselves. Right now, they're motivated by things like abuse and evil and being destructive. But with the Knight of Pentacles, this is giving me big bag stopper energy. It's almost like somebody standing on their soapbox and saying, look, I'll stop all this shit. I will cut these bags off because I can. So get with it or get lost. So it's like he has this person infiltrating the circle so he can see who's what's the ringleader. But at the end of the day, his ultimate goal is to see who he can stop now or who he can stop next. That's what's above him. Now, the below is the Ace of Cups in reverse. Like I said, that's that breakup. That's that loss of love. But it's also a loss of friendship, a loss of harmony, a loss of a soul connection, a loss of a soul. And it could be so that maybe the breakup he went through took a part of him to where he was determined to have some resolve about, his self-worth. The Ace of Cups in reverse brings into focus your self-worth and saying that you're having to heal and recover and pick up the pieces and repair from that. And yeah, there's a bunch of feelings that are coming from that. But are you misdirecting that to the people around you? Are you making the wrong people pay? Because maybe the person whose bag you really stopped, well, they didn't care. That could be some type of energy that I'm feeling here. I don't want to say it's misdirected. I'm saying that it's motivated by a sense of having taken the backseat or having been taken advantage of or having been taking the L in one context, but bringing it into an entire different context. And I don't know what it is about the male-female relationship, whether it's heterosexual or gay or whatever it is, but sometimes it seems to mimic love relationships between men and women or black men and women. When I looked at a lot of the problems with the women that were having issues with Carlos, at first, I will be honest and say I was a little sympathetic towards Carlos because I saw it as Monique Samuels, Melody Rogers, Winter, whoever her name, I don't even know her name. Winter, what's her name? Davis? That sounds right. They were all recent divorcees that were going through it with their own men. And they, at least in the court of public opinion, were finding issue with Carlos. And it made me feel like, yeah, well, maybe you guys were looking at him as a surrogate husband as opposed to a business partner or somebody that's after their own interests, or your boss or your employer or whoever he is, whoever he's regarded as. I've never gone to work and had such emotional, visceral reactions to my boss and not being able to handle that in a way that's legal or professional. These women handle things very emotionally. And so I was like, yeah, you guys are projecting your brokenheartedness and your severed relationships onto Carlos because he filled in that role when that gap was missing. You know what I mean? So, but when it came down to couples like Kandi Burruss, and listen, we know Kandi got her own shit going on, right? And then now the Bell Collective couple, now there's a little bit more credence and a little bit more weight going on. But I felt that women were expecting a level of protection from Carlos that wasn't due to them by him. Protect yourself. Get your own lawyer. Get your own manager. Get your own person in the middle. Specifically, if you feel like you're a vulnerable single woman on the set of a television show being taken advantage of. Because it was my opinion that the women who had men or who were within a couple were having an easier time dealing with Carlos than the single women. And I don't know, it just gave me a sense of maybe they have something because of the loss of protection, or maybe there's a sense of vulnerability being and working on a set where people are teamed up because they're in a marriage, and then you're out there just willy-nilly by yourself, and then a producer won't even protect you. But whose responsibility is that? Not his. You know what I'm saying? Now, for whatever reason, Carlos right now is motivated by some type of greed. There's something that he wants all to himself, or something that he wants to covet or, keep for himself, the rights to or something. And this devil in reverse is questioning the morality of the situation because he's not trying to share equity in something. And then, yeah, it has to do with money. The Knight of Pentacles is here in reverse. Like I said, when the cards are reversed, the Knight of Pentacles brings information about money. When it's in reverse, it's stagnant. The Knight of Pentacles is already stagnant when it's upright. This is the scenic route. So this is not fast money. This is something that's built up, that's invested in, but it's almost a slow and steady wins the race type of energy as well. So it's going to get there, whatever that bag is, and it's going to be a long-term stable bag. But this is in reverse, and that tells me that this bag will stop. Something was meant to be long-term. Something was meant to be stable. Some contract was meant to last and last. And now, because of somebody's greed and their temptation to kind of get into the dark side, quote unquote, of things, they're ready to stop it all. But it has to do with greed, abuse, and somebody being self-destructive. It's almost like I'm getting a vibe of somebody who wants to cut off their nose to spite their face. Like I'll hurt all of you, or I'll hurt all of you, whatever I'm trying to say. Period. You know what I mean? Because at the same time, the devil goes down too. So it's like, to stop this bag, you would be stopping yours too. Even when we look at, like our content creation on YouTube and the subscribers, Lord help them. We got to love you subscribers. You guys are so sweet. But they're always like, it's enough money for everybody. Stop arguing, please. But you got to understand that you guys are right. The universe is abundant. It's infinite. There is definitely enough money for all of us. We haven't even tapped the skin of the universe as far as what we could get out of it. But when we invest in backstopping, like I'm seeing here, we don't just stop the person whose bag we're trying to stop. We stop our own, because we're stopping energy. We're stopping the flow of abundance, and we're putting a restriction on it. So their success is your success, is your success, is your success, and so forth. That's why we have to work collectively as women to get rid of our jealous, covetousness. We have to rid ourselves of those spirits. They're inborn. They're part of the human experience. I'm not ashamed of them, but you got to work with that shit too. You know what I mean? You really have to manage your lack. Carlos, like I said, here we go. Near future, King of Pentacles in reverse. Corruption and loss of money. The King of Pentacles in reverse does it to himself. And then I'm not even trying to go there because I am talking about this TV show, but there's a perverted element to where Carlos's mind can go when he feels like his patience has run out. This is some diabolical shit. It can be. It can get wicked around this motherfucker. And I feel like he's almost there. But he's waiting on this litmus test. He's waiting on this confirmation from this female informant to see if it is what he thinks it is. And if it turns out that people have linked up and coordinated against him, he's prepared. But at the same time, I feel like it's all in the interest of keeping what he has or not being equitable in some type of way. Maybe that was the problem in the first place, is that you weren't being equitable. You know, your team got to eat too. You got this Seven of Swords here with your King of Pentacles in reverse. So it's like, listen, I just talked about this Devil in reverse and this Knight of Pentacles in reverse. I talked about you having backstopping on your mind when you get this information. However, as of the near future, 3 to 6 months, your shit, something's drying up for you. And you're going to be looking back at somebody you trusted. Somebody's about to betray him. Yeah, he's gonna, the person's gonna bring the information out. He's about to find out who it was. And it's gonna break his heart. There's a woman in this group that he really is fond of and that he loves and that he trusts. Yeah, I don't know if that person is backdooring him or undercutting him or, you know, part of the peanut gallery or part of feeding people information that's kind of like gassing them up and motivating them to take charge against him. But this looks like an insider. I don't know. I feel like it's somebody from hair and makeup. I don't know. It looks like a stud. I'm not going to lie. This person is a woman. She has big eyes. She has a fade. Or she has some type of low haircut. Oh my God. Wasn't I talking about somebody with short hair earlier? Why did this just come up in the near future? Wait a minute. So is the actual mole a double agent? Because this is looking like the same person. Now, wouldn't that be some shit if you have somebody in there to gather information and they're gathered information from you and the other side and positioning themselves with no care and concern for either one of yous? But this looks like something where, yeah, it's going to be a confrontation on his part. Most definitely. The King of Pentacles in reverse is not a nice person though either. That's not somebody, I don't want to say it's like a thing where, oh, I don't want to face this person. No, ain't nobody afraid of that person. But at the same time, the negativity that person can bring as a man is not a good energy. You know what I mean? When you talk about somebody when you talk about pentacles, you're talking about earthly things, right? And when you're talking about earthly things mixed with the devil, you're talking about situations that can get real gutter, right? We're not talking about spiritual things. We're talking about money. We're talking about violence. We're talking about corruption. Or somebody that's prone to doing something bad. And then, yeah, the King of Pentacles in reverse, that's corruption. The Devil in reverse, that's also corruption and abuse. Most definitely. But this is somebody who's not, again, looking at the whole vision. This is somebody that's like, maybe their desire for wealth has kind of led them to offer something or bribe somebody or ask somebody to get into some type of position for them. Maybe he's like doing like a quid pro quo something, but not sexual for himself, but you know, maybe with the cast, like he has somebody trying to do something or catch somebody up. But it looks like in the end, that very person's going to be the one to sell him out or tell on him. With the Seven of Swords here, I'm getting like a snitch energy or somebody, I don't want to say testifying. The Swords energy is mental. It also has a legal connotation, especially with all of these pentacles. But I'm not saying that it's going to go as far as testifying in court. But I do feel him being sold out about it, or sold out about, like, it's almost like somebody saying, well, you asked me to do this. Well, I didn't ask to be in that position. I did it to help you. And then the information kind of coming out inadvertently, but through an argument. Then there's a man here, though. Like I said, that King of Pentacles in reverse, that's some businessman. This is some element in business, but it's almost like they had a fallout. I don't know if somebody cut the opportunity or somebody stole something from him. I'm not sure. But I know for a fact that this is a boss relationship, though, with this King of Pentacles. So this is either him and his subordinate or whoever is above him. There's a meeting too. There's an executive meeting. There's 4 men. They're having a meeting. They're happy with the direction of things. They're happy with the content that he's producing. They're happy with the quality of the shows that he's producing. So maybe they're none the wiser as far as like how he's making this happen or how he's getting down. Maybe they're about to find out. Maybe somebody's going to overstep him, go outside of the chain of command, and that's what makes him feel betrayed or like somebody was disloyal, because there is a meeting and there's some type of mediation too, or arbitration or something like that. Yeah. There's like some type of mediation or something. I don't know if there's a settlement coming out of this, because he has a King of Pentacles in reverse. That can represent a loss of money, but it usually to me has to do with a bribe. And a bribe could be considered like a settlement, or it's another word. It starts with an E. You know, like when you try to like tell somebody like, if you don't, if you give me this, I won't do this. I forget the word, but it starts with like an E. So it could be very well, it could be something like that as well. Yeah, definitely. Now the Moon card is here. Carlos is showing up himself as the Moon card. The Moon card is somebody that's full of fear now, right? There's something that he's looking at. He's looking at all the pieces on the chessboard. He knows he's in the dark about something, for sure. But I don't think that he has a clear-cut view of what that something is at the same time. He feels like there's the Justice card with the Moon card. I feel like there's an element of karma that he's hoping for. With the Moon card, I feel like there's a sense of him being afraid to have an outright fight. And him relying on karma or justice, or he's praying for karma or justice, or he's praying for some intervention on the part of the universe or the unforeseen dynamics or something like that. But what's really happening is that a true picture of himself is coming to the forefront. That is the karma. What's in his mind, his repressed feelings, his repressed emotions, his weaknesses are being triggered the fuck out. And I think that's what's putting him on this devil energy, because you got to remember, we all go through the same things, but how you answer to what you go through and how you respond, that determines who you belong to, whether you're of God or you're of the devil or whatever. Call it what you want. We all get the same challenges, but how you stand up to them determines who you belong to. This Moon card is bringing out some feelings in Carlos about himself. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's things that are latent or repressed inside of him that's coming to the forefront, and there's a tension there. There's a tension between how he feels at the inside of those long gone buried ass feelings and emotions and what he consciously presents to everyone. meaning he don't have it all under control like that. And that's okay. But that inner tension sometimes is what draws that negativity, or what draws that discord in the environment with that Five of Wands, that competition, that tension in groups, that devil energy. Your desire to try to send in a mole and spy on people and get intel. All of that starts with an inner kind of like discord, or inner, I don't know, like when you're divided inwardly. You know what I mean? His two sides are at odds. His wild side, because he has a buck nuck if you buck, he has that nuck if you buck energy, but it's contrary to his presentation. But the universe is aligning in such a way with this Justice and Karma card that it's about to bring out that nuck if you buck energy. It's about to bring Los. You know what I mean? We about to meet Los, y'all. This Carlos King is gone. Los has entered the fucking chat. What in the world is going on? Something about to reveal itself. Somebody finna snitch though. 3 to 6 months. Something's gonna be revealing itself. But I feel like it's gonna end up in court, because I got the Justice card here and I got the Seven of Swords here. For me, that's giving me very much litigation. I think we about to meet Los, y'all. Definitely. I don't know. Carlos is going through some type of emotional transformation. I don't know if it could be personal growth. It could be him trying to balance himself out, because listen, we are all light and dark. I know, like, I don't know if I've talked about it necessarily on this channel, but I talked about kind of like growing up and having like a people pleasing. And but my people pleasing wasn't for the sake of making other people happy. It was for the sake of getting people away from me or off my back. It was like, yeah, whatever, right? But inside, those resentments, they built. You know what I mean? Because I would just take, I was like a person who would take the high road. You know what I mean? And it was like, I was just above the fray. And the good thing was that I was always on the high road, because I always took the high road. But at the same time, my failure to acknowledge my dark side, I kept experiencing my dark side externally in the faces of the people around me. You know what I mean? At a point where I had to look at them like they were facets of who I was. You know what I mean? And so to obliterate that energy, I had to confront it within myself. And then I stopped seeing it in others. You see what I'm saying? And then it generated a better experience for me as far as dealing with people, or the reception of people, or my interpretation of people. Now, do I lose the game? Hell nah. I'm from fucking California, okay? Oakland, California. We're not losing the game. I see what it is. But I don't experience the pain of acknowledging the dark that people are. You know what I mean? It's more so objectively now that I've grown. Yeah, moon card here. Somebody's lying again. Seven of Swords, devil in reverse. The moon. Somebody's lying. There's some deceptive people around, and I feel like it's giving him anxiety and just some mental kind of like, he's mentally disturbed by the shit that he's calculating and bringing in. And like I said, I think it's triggering him. And again, sometimes we hide our hurt and pain under these, congenial smiles and successes. But when you go through things, or when people try you, it exacerbates that underlying loneliness that you feel when you are technically alone in the world. When things are going good, you don't have to acknowledge that, oh, I don't have any family, or I don't have any children, or I don't have a partner, or I don't have a mother. Yeah, you kind of live with it. But when shit gets out of your control and you just want to suck your mama titty, you want to suckle on her breast, you want somebody to hug you, hold you, it can remind you that in this world of pain, you all you got. And maybe that energy is just too much for him to handle. And so he has this inclination to disrupt the equilibrium of the people around him. You know what I mean? As a way of transferring that emotion. That's kind of what I'm saying. You know, the Five of Pentacles is here in the external. What is this? The Knight of Wands. Yeah, I was getting this tone and the Death card. There's somebody trying to stop Carlos's bag too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna take it off from him. But this is done spiritually. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if people are doing energy work, but they are wishing on his downfall. And that's a sad thing. And they're calling on some pretty dark spirits. You know what I mean? They're calling on some pretty dark spirits. There's some monitoring spirits here. There's a bestial spirit here. There's a spirit of death and illness. If you start seeing random flies or fruit flies and there's no origin or that could be signs of a person doing death spells, quote unquote. Just light a black candle, say a prayer, cut the cord, and do your best to stay out the way. Stay out the way. It's going to be enough people generating energy towards you for just existing, let alone you going with the tit for tat or engaging. Just stay away, But yeah, they're calling on some dark spirits to stop his empire or stop his back. And these are some impoverished people. It's I don't want to say it's an older woman, because the spirit is almost like hermaphrodite. It's like both that I'm looking at. But there's an older woman here as well. There's an older woman that's spearheading this work. Most definitely. And they're asking for it to happen fast. They're asking for a breeze. They're asking for quick movement. They're asking for things to be immediately or expediently or moving quickly. The destruction, the loss, the loss of money, the loss of funds, the downfall of an empire. They're requesting this. And again, like I said, they're summoning some dark spirits in order to help with this. They want him to be in lack or poverty or something like that. This is the external energy, and then, now this about to get deep, y'all, because remember I talked about him being in a backstopper diabolical energy, but then look at his external environment and you have somebody manifesting and putting that on him. Now, how do you think that plays out? Right? Magic is practical in a sense. It's not like you're going to do a money spell and wake up to some money. You might, don't get me wrong, but it's not like you're going to wish for the downfall of somebody and wake up to their downfall. No, you're wishing, you're hoping, and then they start to take on the energy transfer, and then they do it to themselves. And now he's in that energy towards others, but that energy is being put on him, but he's acting it out in a way that causes his own downfall. Can y'all believe that shit? Right? That's why you gotta one yourself. You gotta get with your spiritual team, because somebody is wishing for this to happen fast. I see it 3 to 6 months. They're doing it right now. He's already in the energy. It's in his crowning. It's in his above. He's already set the wheels in motion to take on the spirits that they're sending to him. That's when it's time to take a goddamn break. Then you got the Death card here and the Eight of Wands. Child. Listen. This is what I have to say. In the world of spirits, you can have and do whatever you want to pay the price for. Right? The words you speak, the chants you do, the curses you do, you're doing it to yourself first and foremost. So if you're willing to sacrifice a piece of the magnificence that God created you to be to bring some harm to another person, have at it. But just recognize that for every death spell here on somebody's life force, health, finances, you will be dying right there on that altar too, for sure. There's no way. There's no two ways about it. It's no two ways about it. Carlos knows he needs to change something. Death is here in reverse. That's a need to change. The change may be to reverse this energy or this work. How do you do that? You guys can just introduce a change agent. If you feel that there's some energy around you that you don't want, the quickest way to change it is to change your route. If you get up and you leave the house at 6:07 every morning, leave the house at 6:09. If you take a certain path to work or to the store or to your house, go the entire different way. Go pass by one way and don't pass back it again. Introduce a change agent by changing the way you do things. Switch it up so that nobody's clocking your tea. Right? There's something that he can do to change. There's something that we all can do. Just introduce the change agent. Do something, anything, one thing different right now. And that will completely shift the energy and the focus. So yeah, I knew it was going to be a lot of shit going on because I kept getting a download saying to do his reading. And I knew it was some bullshit. I even pulled the correct deck for it. I already knew what was going on. In the end, he has the 10 of Pentacles and the 7 of Cups in reverse. His empire is going to be stronger if he makes that change. He is on the verge of generational wealth. There is a need for him to have a conversation with the ancestors, but he is protected. Somebody's watching out for him. That's for sure. From the other side. Somebody has their eyes on him. And I show that in the end, he's going to win. He's going to have more. He's going to grow in abundance. With this 10 of Pentacles. May even there be a family at some point. Maybe he'll get some children or some adopted children. But this is the reward. This is after you haven't been tested, right? After you haven't been tested with your vices and your virtues. After you unearthing all that repressed energy and hangups that you have over what has or what has been done or what has come. After that, it's showing that he's gonna win. So I don't know whatever this battle is, but he's not the loser in his spread. You know what I mean? So we haven't gotten to the other spread yet, but reverse 7 of Cups is an excellent, positive position. It may be the gratification is delayed. But again, how is she going to get your soul food? How is she going to get those lessons if somebody don't slow you down at least temporarily? You know what I mean? A lot of those things that you go through are to slow you down temporarily. But in the end, he is going to make the right decisions and move into the right direction. He's going to do things that go the right way and in support of his goals. He's going to shake off this negativity once he addresses his repressed emotions or anger, things like that. Yes. Once he turns down money, certain money, there's a big contract here, but this is saying all money ain't good money. And he's going to have to refuse to do something because, like I said, there's a meeting. There are some people in the board or whatever, or mediation or arbitration. I don't know. Somebody's pleased though, and they may want more of something, and he's going to have to refuse to give it to him. You know what I mean? And in exchange for a more spiritual protection and consciousness. So hopefully he makes the right decision. I know this was complicated. I understand it completely. Maybe because I do this, but yeah. So listen, that's what I got from my reading. You guys get the conversation popping in the comments section. Let me know what you think of this reading. Smash that like button on your way out the door. And guess what? Don't forget to subscribe, and I'm going to see you guys on the next one.